Okay, greetings class. I'm gonna do a quick video here, some pointers and to help you out and stuff like that. So I may do this video and maybe another one as well. So right here, the how to create a dystopian world. And one of the things you have to do for this week is that you have to take a look at this sheet, how to create a dystopian world. And I really want to make sure you really go over that because it'll give you some pointers and hints of what you should be doing to create your dystopian world. So just remember, these are characteristics. Just these are all just to give you ideas. So no matter if you're doing the PowerPoint or if you're doing the comic life or if you're doing the graphic novel or choose your own adventure, whatever it is you're doing, you still have to create your dystopian society. So what is your world going to be like? And hopefully this stuff here will help you give you ideas. Is it a corporate world? Is it bureaucratic? Is it technological? Again, you don't have to use these ideas, but these things give you ideas. They give you movie examples and stuff like that. There's a Truman Show that we watched. The dystopian protagonists. Does your character in your story feel trapped or struggling to escape? Does your person believe that there's something wrong but doesn't know what to do? What is the conflict that your hero is going to have and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you go over that because, with this project, it's set in the future. You're creating your own dystopian world. You're creating your own story. You're being very creative. But I just want to make sure that you know that this is not a, that this is not a Hollywood type of movie, all right? So you want to make sure that this is not a Hollywood type of movie, that it probably will not have a Hollywood type of ending, and that, usually a dystopia has usually has a bad ending, all right? So usually it doesn't go very well, and you'll see that with Brave New World. I guess there's bad and a little bit of good in it, but generally, dystopia usually doesn't have a very happy ending, or things don't usually work out. You can do whatever you want. If it's a dystopian world, that's fine, and you have a happy ending. You can certainly do that, but generally, the mood, tone, theme of a dystopian story generally doesn't work out exactly as planned. That doesn't mean that there can't be some good, but maybe there's some bad with that as well. So you look at the Truman Show. Truman um, gets out of his cave, but really, what does it say about the audience? The audience really is still truly living in its own cave. So there's an example of good and bad in an ending. So just keep in mind that you're not writing a Hollywood movie. You're writing a dystopia where generally things don't work out, so you have to go against the grain of the type of movies that we see quite a bit in the movie theaters. All right, and also you'll have to remember that you're going to need literature elements in your paper or your project here, so that you want to be thinking about foreshadowing. You want to be thinking about your characters, symbolism, theme, all that type of stuff. You want to be concentrating on all that good stuff. What else? One of the other things I want you to look at is, I think there's two different sheets and they're both basically the same thing, but there's the plot helping you, the plot help sheet here. So, um, you know, what is the characters? What is your setting? What is the action or event that's going to set your story into place? What is the conflict going to be? We know it's a dystopian world, and that in itself is going to be a conflict, but what exactly on a smaller scale is going to be the conflict for your character? What are going to be the complications? How is your character in your dystopian world going to fight against the bad that they see? That type of thing. How will things, what will be the resolution? Will things go back to normal? Which in a dystopian world is a bad thing. Or will there be some changes made in your dystopian world? So again, you want to look at this plot sheet. It'll kind of help you guide you into your story. So again, if you think about the graphic novel or the PowerPoint story, if you're doing comic life, you're only doing 9 to 12 pages roughly. So if you really about think at the beginning of your story, 3 pages, the middle part of your story, 3 pages. You know, the ending part of your story, 3 to 4 pages. So it's really not that much. When you write it out, you may get a page of notes, but to really put that into a story format, you know, you know, that those pages will fill up fast, and you can always, of course, write more, of course. So you can certainly do that. So eventually, and I'll get into this next week. Um, you know, eventually next week, we'll talk about that you'll have to have some written part to go along with your graphic novel, kind of a script or notes of exactly what you're doing in your visual text that you're going to be turning in. So, for example, um, kind of a example script. You know, I'll have you turn in. You know, what was going on page 2 of your graphic novel? What was going on in page 1 of your graphic novel? You know, what was your you know, what was the symbolism on page 2? You know, where did you use foreshadowing on page 5, 2, and 6? This is an example from one of my students, um, and that, you know, this is something that you'll turn in. You know, what was a setting theme? You'll spell all this out because you'll turn in your graphic novel or whatever it is, but then you're also going to give me something like this as well, where you're gonna tell me the exact elements of literature and where they can be found, and stuff like that. So be thinking of that. You know, we'll work on more about that a little bit later. But so that example there, you'll include kind of a text script to go along with your visual project. So it won't be technically super detailed, but I want to know that you know what you're talking about and where you using your elements of literature in your story and stuff like that. So I think I'll stop here for now. Hopefully that makes sense. That, you know, just go brainstorm some more, start getting the ideas down. You're gonna have stuff due on Wednesday and Sunday, for your project, and you just want to keep brainstorming and stuff like that. So I'll end this one right now.